Welcome back to Stay Focused, Focus Real Estate's weekly video series. Today we've got the Focus 5.
5 questions to ask at an open house. 5 questions to ask at an open house or when you're looking at a property that's a single family or multi-family.
And what our goal here is to give you questions to ask that aren't necessarily apparent from looking at the MLS listing sheet. So really, first question, how old's a heating system? That's something they don't put on there. They do type of heating system, but not how old is it.
Yes, and that's a big ticket item. So if it's an older heating system, you have to replace it. You could get dinged with that once you buy it.
Indeed. Next question.
How old's the roof?
Yeah, that's important. You know, how old is that? You know, I also really like to tell people to ask, or ask myself, is the seller making any disclosures, right? Is there anything that the seller knows about the property that could change your mind about whether you wanted to buy it or not? They're legally obligated to disclose those things, all right? So in that case, the seller's agent may know, or they may have prepared a seller's statement of property condition for you to review. So part of that third question is, has the seller prepared a seller statement?
And do they have any disclosures? Number 4.
I love it when we can tie a question back to a previous video. Are there any easements?
Yes, so I'm sure you all watched our amazing video a few weeks ago on what is an easement. And that's a good question to ask.
So really what you need to remember when you're buying a single family house or a multi-family house is you're actually purchasing a piece of land with improvements. When you're buying a condo, you're buying a space inside of a building. But when you're buying a single or a multi, you're buying a piece of land and the improvements on the land. So you really want to make sure that you know what's happening with the land.
Does anyone have any other property rights or easements to this land?
Indeed, indeed. So good question to ask a seller's agent there.
And finally, our number 5 question to ask.
Preface with, you don't get answers to questions that you don't ask, right? So why is the seller selling? You know how it ends.
Find their motivation.
Find out their motivation.
They're not going to put that on the MLS sheet.
They aren't indeed. So if someone asks me that question as a seller's agent, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I'm not really entitled to share with you information about the seller, but I can answer any questions about the property. But sometimes it's amazing what agents will say when you ask them the questions. They just tell you straight up.
They start opening their mouth and you find out what the seller's motivation is.
So ask. Why is the seller selling? Why are they moving?
And a lot of times buyers will say, is it okay to ask these questions? And I like to tell buyers I'm working with, go ahead, ask away, because you just never know what you might discover and what they might reveal.
You don't get what you don't ask.
So those are our top 5 questions to ask.
And big takeaway here is, you know, ask some questions, be prepared to write a great offer so you can get into the home of your dreams and have all the questions that you have answered before you get to that spot.
And next month we'll do the same 5 questions for a condo.
Indeed.
So
we might even be wearing the same outfits.
So make sure you stay tuned
and stay
focused. Shameful self-promotion.
Here we go again.